Are you ready?
Amitagis. And it's a Agnes Harley, my daughter. Amidi like it. Katsayid umes. Just kaid. Lois and Kim Harley. Just kaid, but just kid. Ukima adid aushidos man hijagid. Hoktali hakid henan man an dadina bakir. Ayadidos. Wasin man and dadid. Ukiman man henan adidunga Ifala area. Man man hijagid man ajula didus. Safety, it's kaided. Alex and Stella Proctor Harley do what he does. My grandpa Alex, his mother's name was Jenny McGilvery. And my mother's parents met Bunner and Betty Hicks of Okmulgee. Bunner Hicks, his father was George Hicks. He married a Chickasaw woman named Elsie Edlow, and they were all from Okmulgee. And that I just realized, had he just got my Henan Mahapatoko alleged said ayat, Oxulabi Ustin ayat, a mistake. Henrietta and Jonas Kakinen, Mohammed Man Sugahiska Manfish Boyari Yadidus, Henrietta High School. Mohammed Ayad, Gida Ayad. Yama Alagan, but Adi was away after the Hayuad Alagat. Mvskoke Ubunaga, Man Henan Jazega, Man. Steve, Nico of Kazawadation, Tiwulagin a bogey doing much. He loved it on a year ago, Trenton. Oh, my ceremonial grounds did. Tiwulang was in a bogey runga. Who built out a Tamadi, got full and Manti Makubani, so what didn't he did? Ubunaga or Ubunayid. Ukida he tracking. She might not ask question. Fully editors. Yes. I what? I wish to wear and wait for Libby Munkarun. I guess as I added, Mvskoke is academic Puway and I wait for the Wisconsin. I guess as I added. Okida Muid I Mungadi from waiting to wear knocked at Mvskoke Bedunga. Widows. Mohammed, ma Ubunaga Jeffkidad, Hochedid, Ukonayid, Punayid, Umimat, Umarugat, Mwagidun, Agifazayad, Punaga Sunke, Jewish Kunsa Magat, Brandon Magat, Jewish Kumaska Magat. Ubunaga, his academic Puma Didunga. Ubunaga that I mungays, Moasin, Ya, Tizadayid, Mad Umagi, Madnand, Sabiga, his Kundagi said, Ubunaga Dunga, his academic Bunmadid. Ubunaga that Hayward, Puhayas, and we do is the Scotland a boogie word. I've heard people in Scotland speak the Creek language. I've heard little Chinese people wanting to learn the Creek language. Creek language will maybe not survive by the Creek people, but since it is a unique language, a God-given language, it will survive. Maybe not through the Creek people themselves, but other people who want to learn the language, and you can't say they will preserve it, but they will catch on, and it will survive. Creek language will survive, not necessarily by the Creek people. I've heard other people, other countries want to learn the language, so that's how I see it. So, my digosin magas, harama okabayat, Julie magas, mandipuna huiris, ma upuna ira chula di dona ni amara mawaiga, kizari no ke muid, Idi banga, you know, when after they've had a conversation when they part, they didn't just say goodbye. They always had like a humor, a teasing. And hanga imbunai had usay day bayan ubay haya fisa si jagatin. And you Jimmy o tigini haya way ka you know, when you know, when the Creek people, when after they've been visiting, they used to say goodbye and leave. They always had a parting of ways where they tease each other a bit, and so you know, that's now that's what I have. So, do you have any questions or anything?
What can you tell me about the COVID-19?
COVID-19 was people who knew were fragile, were very, well, I'd like to say that I was real lucky. I didn't have it, even though I have a lot of things that being a diabetic, I could have, but I don't know why, because I have to try to protect myself in order so that I would be able to see my nephews, my friends, and all that. So, not that I just stayed home inside, you know. I'm a kind of like a social person. I like to be out with people, and so somehow I didn't get COVID, but members of my family have passed away from COVID. So.
If you could had a message for the chief and second chief and them council members about language, what would you tell them?
Well, there is one. What would I tell them? Well, I would say one of the chiefs was, our grandmas were sisters, two Proctor sisters, so that, and then the other one would be my mother and his mother are cousins, so, you know, but I've talked to one council member that does speak Creek during a meeting. And I couldn't say I could encourage them, but, you know, there is nothing that I can really add to that. You know, they're real professional in what they do. It's because when I was growing up, they're even now their family members they do speak the Mvskoke language.
If you had an idea, if you had a say-so in how to save the language, the school, or what would your idea be about how to preserve and save the language?
Well, now that's what you're asking that now, but I think they have could have started with the real fluent speakers about 30 years ago. and maybe that might have helped. But right now, these young people, I don't blame them for not too fast to catch on, because nowadays they have so many things in their lives. They have so much to do. They have so much out there for them, and I just don't blame them at all that they don't, have time to learn the language, because we came from a different time when everyone around us was learning the language. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. She said she stopped off at the nursery, one of those nurseries, Head Start school, and they were, those little kids were saying that hickory dickory dock, at Hungen, Chishi went down the clock, and I thought that was real cute. But that's the only way that people can really learn. Kind of put it in between English, instead of just one whole phrase. The whole thing is Creek. Because I've heard one instance when people can memorize the alphabets. They can memorize the words. And my cousin Daria Hicks used to say, after memorizing the whole thing, they could read a whole page of what was written. They could read it. But at the end of it, she said, so what was it about? And they said, we don't know. So these young people, they're smart and they can memorize it. But like these little kids, I was saying, if you put it in between, like English, maybe it might work. So, any more questions?
Do you have anything to add? You want to say something? Anything personal or anything?
Well, I guess that is about it for now.
What else?
Yeah.